Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before starting my video, if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please do, and do not forget to turn on notifications because I'm here every day for you. Alright, in this video I'm going to teach you HTTP status codes, and plus we will investigate return types of our API controllers. Okay, let's open my board and pencil because I'm going to type something on my screen. Let me make it a little bit big. Oh, it's too big. Let's make it smaller. Alright, it's perfect. Okay, until this video we used some status codes, but normally we have some kind of, how can I say, in web development, let's say web development, we have a status code for every response. All right, and it starts from 100 to 599. All right, I didn't memorize all of them. To be honest, I couldn't, and I don't want to memorize them because if you go Google and type what is happening, okay, and type status codes, and you will see a lot of information comes up. Okay, I just click one of these sources. As you can see, your status codes here: information responses, successful responses, redirection messages, client error responses, and server error messages. Alright guys, this is all you need to know. Okay, you can create your own status codes or you can use existing ones. So what does that mean? If you remember our previous lesson, we used here return OK. We used return created, or we used return no content. These are, how can I say, comes ready methods. Yeah, you can use these methods to send a response to user. Alright. But I'm always prefer using customized response models. What does that mean? Before jumping to customized response models, I will tell you most used response types, which is why I'm struggling to adjust the size of my text. Let me type one more time. It's oh my god, what is that? No, not you. Not you. Alright, let's clean everything. Perfect. 200. I'm using 200 for listing method, listing success method results. Alright. I'm using 201 after successfully created. Okay. And I'm using 204 after successfully updated or deleted. I'm using, let me think a little bit more, 400 for client side errors, 404, this is for not found error messages. If I remember correctly, 403 is is a forbidden, access denied. It must be forbidden. If you authenticate, but if you have an authorization problem, even if you authenticate it, you must have 403 forbidden error message. But if you have a problem to authenticate, you're going to get access denied. Alright, if you have more different error messages, you can have a look your Google or search engines, and you can find out what kind of HTTP result status do we have, and you can use them in your own scenario. But these are most of the time going help. It's going to be enough for me if you, especially if you are creating a small intermediate projects. And always I'm using the rest of the error co comes from the server. This is server side errors for all 500 and more. All right. Uh, as a beginner level, these are going to be enough for you guys. All right. But if you would like to have more informations, you can search on websites, and you can have a look each status um, codes. Let's, for example, 200 OK, 202 accepted, 203 not authoritative information, and blah blah blah. It's going like that. All right, perfect. I reckon you understand what I'm trying to tell you in this status code section. So we have to return a status code, and those are our status code. Perfect. All right, let's have a look now return types. Okay, I mentioned these are ready return types. Let's have a look our controller base class, little bit detailed. Okay, as you can see, we have bed request, which is returns 4000. Yeah, 40400, which is client side error. It means bed request. Uh, we have here 4-bit result. Let's have a look. What is that? This is not what I'm looking for. Yeah, okay result. Status 200 response. Yep, not found. It returns 404. As you can see, we are not returning Viv or the other type of return types, because this is controller base and we are returning little different return types if you compare MVC section. Alright, let's close our controller base class now, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to skip the ready methods because we already used our previous lessons. Now I'm going to show you how we can create a customized return response models. Alright, to do that, I'm going to create a model first, okay? And it is going to contain my response model. Let's say custom response model. This is going to be a generic class, and it is asking us to give it must be, yeah, t variable, and we are going to return t data. Also, we need to return integer status code. All right, where's my integer? Yep. Then Let's return is successful, and we're going to return error if we have, and I'm going to make a list string. Okay, let's say errors. We're going to create a lot of new custom response model in our project. So I'm going to create a factory methods, and these are going to help us creating static methods while we're creating our object. Okay, let's start typing public static, and let's say success. Sorry, our return type is going to be, let me see, yeah, we're going to give our custom response model, and I'm going to give success. Let's give a t data for a success method, and status code. Let's get inside, return custom response. Yeah, we're going to give our t as well. Perfect. The new custom response model. Let's get inside data. The data, yeah, the data must be come from data. Status code comes from status code, and yeah, we need to put a comma here. Is successful must be true because this is success, and I'm gonna leave error section empty because this is empty. We don't have any error because this is success method. So we can make it nullable, and also we can make data nullable because sometimes we might leave data null. Alright, success is completed. So let's add another overload for success because this success is going to be used for 200 for 201 response status code for creating some object. Let's create another response for no contents. So it is going to be again success, but this time we're not returning data because for update section, uh, deleting or updating section doesn't return data. We just return our status code. Alright. So is successful is true. The status code comes from our variable status code. Alright. Now let's continue with fail section. Let's create another method which is called fail. Data is going to be null again. We have a status code, and this time I will give an error list. Errors. Perfect. Let's delete data. Do not forget add comma. Error is going to be errors. This errors property comes from errors variable. Perfect. Let's overload. Do we need to overload? Yeah, I'm gonna add one more overload. Sometimes we might need just one error messages. So I don't wanna create every time a new list. So I'm just create directly a list in my return value. So let's create new list string. Yep, here we go. Now I'm going to give a name error. Perfect. Let's have a look quickly. Did we have any problem here? I guess only problem we have a list string errors here, but we never create a new one. Is it going to be a problem? No, it is going to come from outside as a ready list. So we're going to assign it. Okay, it seems everything is perfect. Let's minimize all of them. When I used one of them, you will understand what I'm trying to make. Let me have a look. Okay, by the way, this status code is successful. I don't want them seen by the user, and that's why I'm going to type here JSON ignore, and we just use these two property for our internal calculation and algorithms. So we don't want them seen by user when I type a request to my API. Alright, let's save everything. Perfect. Let's go back our home controller. Now I'm going to create a new controller. API empty add, let's say, test controller. What a creative name, right? Perfect. Alright. Let's add new action method. Let's say index, it's alright. Alright. Let's first of all never forget add your HTTP attribute. Let's use HTTP get. Alright. So we have a dummy data here, right? Let's have a look. Okay. Var item list equal dummy data. Just consider we are taking our data from our database products. Alright, we received our item list. Let's have a look. This is list products. Perfect. Now I'm going to return my response. So to do that, custom response model, and I'm going to give my variable, which is going to be a product. Actually, my item list is list product, so I'm going to return list product. Yeah, all right. It is going to be success because we need to return a success return. Success. Let's open our bracket and let's see the overloads. We can only just give a status code, or we can give data and status code together. Just remember, we are returning a list, so the user need to see the list. So we need to return a data, and this is also 200 response code. So it contains a data. All right. Our first object's item list, comma, the status code will be 200. Anything else? Did we something wrong here? Let me have a look. Put our. All right. Let me have a look. Okay. I know what is the problem is, but I want you to see that we return our model. This is whole and model. So our return type must be a response. Okay. Now let's create a new object result. This is what we supposed to return in the first end. Let's open your bracket. It is asking us give an object, right? All right. So this is our object. Okay. I gave my object here and I closed it. And I'm going to open my curly bracket because I need to assign the status code of object result. Okay, my object has own status code and data and everything, but we need to assign a final status code. So status code must be comes from our data. So this is, we can type 200 manually, but we don't want. I'm going to make it much more professional. Let's say var response. This is our response, right? Okay, let's add it here. Perfect. This is my object response. I'm going to return this response, and my status code is going to be response dot status code. Perfect. It's all done now. So once we run this application, we're going to return the response exactly how is written in our model. And once I type this custom response model, I'm going to use that for all my response. You can use different type response in your project, but the best practice is always use just one response model for all your actions. Alright, let's run the application and let's try the result. Alright, perfect. This is our test endpoint. Let's run the application, execute it. As you can see, this is data and errors is null. 1, 2, 3. This is how it's supposed to be. Alright. If you remember, we add a JSON ignore attribute to our is successful and is the status code, so they are not located in our response. Okay, let's delete these two just for 2 seconds to show you the difference between these two. Alright, try it out, execute. As you can see, status code 200 is successful true, but this is unnecessary because I'm returning my status code here, and this is successful. It is returning here, so we don't need it. I'm just going to use them all, my future algorithms, in my own project. Okay, let's use ignore. Alright, let's save it. Perfect. Let me have a look. Alright, let's try to add an error now. I'm going to create another HTTP GET. This time, let's use get by ID. Alright. Now, perfect. Let's delete it. And we're going to be asked to give a parameter, ID parameter. Alright. Let's var index find item list find index x dot id equal id. Yeah, we found I index now. If index find if index, why I couldn't type it? If index find is integer, right? Alright, perfect. We're able to type here if, yeah, index find smaller than 0, it means, can it be null? No. Alright, product ID. What if I say -5? Okay, let's say if it's smaller 5, okay, control RG, Control KD. Yep. So we're going to return a fail. Response is going to be this time fail. Okay. And what is what do we supposed to enter as a fail? Status code and error. Okay. So this is an ID problem, right? This is going to be Bedrock case. So we must enter 400 and an error message. ID not exist. Or we can add 404 because it is really similar, not found. ID not exist, user not found. Yeah, we can say, let's say user not found. User not found. Perfect. If we return in a success, so we're going to return just product, and instead of item list, we need to return item. So let's find the item then. Var item must be item list find index find. Perfect. So this is our item. So I'm going to give as a result my item because we are returning just product with 200. Perfect. So return object result is going to be same because we are returning response and we are returning our status code. Okay, we have an error here. Okay, let's create a reference for custom response model. All right, let's say var response new custom response model. This is returning product. Okay, let's make a product. It's alright, we can use product. And let's delete it. Perfect. If there is an error here, basically, if we couldn't the user, if we don't have the user, we're going to return an error message. If we're able to find it, we're going to find it and return success with the related user. Alright, let's run the application now and let's try our results. This is our endpoint. So first of all, I'm going to send 2. As you can see, the response is 200. The data is ID2, name cement, quantity 155. There is no error. Alright, let's send 5, which is not exist. Did we error message? Okay. We have an error message. What is the problem? Index was out of range. Perfect. Alright. Because we couldn't fix here. Let's put a breakpoint here and let's see the result. Probably we couldn't catch these error messages. It's okay, we can find out using a breakpoint. Let's add 5 one more time. F10 index find is -1. If it's smaller than, alright, we forget to return here. Yeah, we need to use else. Yeah, perfect. Now it will work. Let's run the application. Let's run our endpoint one more time. Let's type 6 here, execute. As you can see, data is null, the error section has user not found. As you can see, the template is same, and this is our customized object result. I'm always using this object result, and I'm customizing my response using custom response model. Alright guys, I assume you understand the status codes and return types for controller in API. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to drop comment below the video. And if you crash the like button, I will really appreciate it, as it really motivates me to create new content, guys. Take care of yourself. See you on next lesson. Bye bye.